Hey everyone, I'm Sai Harish, a Webflow developer. Today, we are going to build a cool website called Goonies. This site was first made by Josh Barry, and you can find the link to his website in the description below. This website is special because it has lots of fun animations, like scrolling effects and hover animations. That's why we're going to rebuild it in Webflow. Follow along with me, and I'll show you how to make these animations step by step in Webflow. Let's start by making a navigation bar. To get the search bar, you can use the shortcut Ctrl+E, and to create a new class, use Ctrl+Enter. Try to remember these shortcuts instead of using the mouse. It'll make things quicker and easier. First, we'll create a div for the nav bar. Set its width to 100% and its height to 70 pixels. Make sure the position is fixed and set it to the top 0 and a z-index of 100. I've also added a linear gradient for the background. You might not see a big difference now, but it'll help the nav bar blend smoothly with the rest of the website later. Next, let's create a div container with a max width of 64 rem. Inside this, we'll make a Goonies link wrapper to hold our links and set it to flex. Then we'll add the link text. After that, we can duplicate it 3 more times, so we have 4 links, just like on the original website. Don't forget to change the text to match the site, and set the font family to Montserrat.
Now let's create a main wrapper. This wrapper will hold all the sections of the site. We're not adding any special properties to it. It's just to help us stay organized. After you make the wrapper, create the first section. Make a div and name it Goonies Hero. Inside the Hero section, create another div and make it sticky. Set it to the top 0 with a width of 100% and a height of 100 SVH. Add the background image here and also make the sticky div flex. Then go back to the Goonies Hero div and set its height to 200 SVH for now. We'll change the height later based on the scroll animation. We might need to make the height bigger or smaller, depending on how the scroll animation works. Inside the sticky div, make another div and call it padding vertical. Inside this, create another div and name it align center. Inside that, create a div for max width. These are global classes in client first, so you don't need to create 3 separate divs. You can just make one div, add vertical padding, center the text, and set the max width to 64 rem. For this project, I'm loosely using client first, but I'm not following all its naming rules since it's a personal project.
Next, let's add a heading. Name it Goonies Hero H1. Set the font family to Abugate and the font size to 2.6 rem. Also, upload the image of the Goonies heading. This isn't a font, it's a pre-made image. In the Goonies sticky div, add a scroll wrapper. Inside that, add an image and name it Scroll Image. Then, upload the mouse animation GIF . Now, inside the Goonies sticky div, add another div. Make its position absolute and set it to top 0, bottom 0, left 0, right 0. Add the tree image to this div for the background. This will help create the scrolling effect. Later, we'll add animation to it. For now, set the image's position to top. Next, create another div inside. Add a class called Padding Vertical X Huge. Next, create another div inside. Add a class called UI Text Align Center to center the text. Inside this div, create another div and name it UI Text Size Large. Though you don't really need this. You could set the text size directly on the text itself. In this div, add a heading 2 and name it Goonies H2. Set the font family to Sharp Grotesque Book 25 and the font size to 3 rem. Now, add a paragraph with the font family Montserrat and set the font size to 1 rem. For the UI Text Align Center div, add a combo class called Plot Hidden. Set its display to hidden. You can also add a max width. If you prefer, you can wrap everything together and give it a max width. It's up to you. Alright, the hero section is all set. Now let's add some fun scroll animations, just like in the original website. I'll show you how to create these animations step by step. First, see how the tree background zooms in when we scroll? To get that effect, we use A-scale animation on the tree background image. This makes it look like the trees are coming closer as you scroll. Notice the beach background image also zooms a bit. Right now, that beach image is in the sticky section, but let's change that. Let's move the beach image to its own new div called Goonies Hero BG and make it absolute. Now we'll use the scale animation to zoom both backgrounds smoothly. Look again at the original animation. See how the trees seem to float up a little as we scroll? Let's add that too. We can use a move interaction on the tree image so it floats slightly up as we scroll down. This effect makes it look super smooth, like the trees are part of the journey down the page. As we scroll, let's make the big hero text disappear slowly. To do this, we'll adjust its opacity. This will make the text fade away in a way that feels really natural. Now, see how the plot text appears just after the hero text fades out? The plot paragraph slides up from the bottom, as if it's joining us on the page. We'll use a move animation to make it slide up gently. This keeps everything flowing down nicely. Check the background again as we scroll. Notice how it gets darker? We can add this by changing the opacity on the background, making the whole section a bit darker as we move down the page. Then, near the end of the section, the tree background image moves up just a little more. We add one last move animation to complete the effect as we finish scrolling through the hero section. Now, I noticed something while testing. At the end of the scroll, the tree image can look a bit strange. Instead of changing its opacity, let's add a new div on top of everything, called Goonies Hero BG Black. Make it absolute, then go to the interactions and remove the opacity from the background images. We'll use Hero BG Black to add a nice color overlay that darkens everything without changing the tree image. Now, at the end of the scroll, there's an animated line. To make this, create a new div with a width of 2 pixels and color it white. We can animate the line by changing its size in the Interactions panel. Also, let's hide the mouse GIF at the end of the scroll using opacity, just like in the original. For the line scroll-out animation, it's tricky since it starts from the top. So we'll add a move interaction. This will make it look like the line is moving to the bottom at the end. Lastly, we'll add the scroll-out animation for the plot text. Keep refining the animation until it feels just right. When working with scroll interactions, it's a good idea to add a blank section below to act like a section. This way, we won't need to adjust the scroll animations after the whole site is built. The interactions look perfect in the hero section. In the next part, we'll move on to building the next section.